Hi everyone, and welcome to my first impressions video for Bayonetta 2 on the Nintendo Wii U. Let's check it out. So, as is the rule for any game that I purchase, I let it sit at the title screen to see if there's any sort of intro, or in many games' cases, a second intro. And this game does play this cinematic here after you let it sit at the title screen for a while. And I don't know if this trailer is old or if it's something new for this game, but I think it's nice that they play that instead of just a demo or just having it sit at the title screen indefinitely. Now here's the options menu. Always got to go through options as well. And I believe in the sound menu you can select the voice language to be the Japanese dub, which is pretty cool. And then here are the difficulties. And second climax is the default difficulty. And it is the equivalent of normal, but unlike Bayonetta 1, I find that second climax or normal mode is quite a bit easier than in Bayonetta 1. And, you know, to be honest, I like that. It lets me enjoy the game more. And, for example, like when you do the Megaton and Gigaton QuickTime events, those are much easier. And I don't know if that's difficulty dependent, but they've made those much easier. And the battles just have a cleaner feel, and they feel a lot more intuitive as well. And so, again, maybe the difficulty ramps up later in the game to the point where it is more on par with Bayonetta 1. But, you know, I've heard from a number of players that they thought Bayonetta 1 was a difficult game. And, you know, I think that as long as you have different difficulties or different requirements to achieve in the game, and in Bayonetta's case is the pure platinum rating of getting through everything with no damage and high combo scores and low times, that's okay. It's okay to make your main campaign mode a little easier, and you know that'll let more players see your game. Not just the hardcore players, not just the ones who have more patience or more determination to get through it. You know, I think a lot like TV or movies, you have a very small window to hook your audience. And so I think that's what they've done here, and I really like that. So after you get through that first chapter, you see that Baldur makes a return, Father Baldur. I hope that he doesn't flap his lips as much as he does or as much as he did in the first game. He just got super annoying, and I didn't like him as a character. So to see him come back, it kind of made me laugh, but at the same time, I was shaking my head a little bit. And so this is nice. You get the company logos as part of the cinematic, just like the first game, as well as the names of the principal developers. And Team Little Angels is a play on Team Little Devils from the Devil May Cry days. And so something here that I really love about Bayonetta 2 so far is the color palette. It is so much more vibrant and colorful, and I just feel like you can see more detail in the imagery. You know, daytime looks really nice, and the characters look good. I mean, here's Jean making a return, and there's Enzo and Bayonetta. And you know, Bayonetta now has short hair. Jean has long hair, so they kind of traded haircuts a little bit. But yeah, the color palette in this game, they just did a really wonderful job in giving it a look that, you know, is very unique, sets it apart from the first game, but still feels like Bayonetta. What they did keep and what they improved upon even more so far is the style. You know, this stuff right here where the angels get introduced, that's all pretty much the same from the first game, slight tweaks. But the cinematics and the attitude of the characters and the animation and just the energy in these is really good. I found some of the cinematics in Bayonetta 1, especially the fast action ones, to be a little hard to follow. And, you know, they're ultra violent and all that, but they were dark. Especially like the first one where you're in the graveyard, you know, when Rodin's throwing all the guns at you and you're destroying all the angels. And it's really bloody and there's a lot of action, but sometimes it's a little hard to follow. And here, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they've kind of slowed things down, certain things down, you know, to, I guess, exaggerate like this. It's so funny, like the sexual things in this game and, you know, the things that were controversial from the first game. Platinum just cranks those up and makes them even more ridiculous. And I just gotta laugh because it seems like this big middle finger to Bayonetta's critics. And Platinum saying, you know what, this is the game and series we set out to make, and here's its sequel, which is going to take everything from the first game and either improve upon it or make them crazier. And so I gotta respect them for that. And yeah, so here you get into the game and the fighting, and this is all from the demo. I think it's all the same, but thankfully you can now see it in 60 frames per second thanks to YouTube now supporting that format. So now you can see where the fighting and the QuickTime events and cinematics, where they switch from 60 frames to 30. So here it switches to 30 for this real-time cinematic. And that's something I really like, is that all the cinematics in the game, to my knowledge, are in-engine. They look nicer than the normal game. But yeah, they're 30 frames, and so maybe it was a cinematic decision to do that. Maybe they wanted to use the nicer models for these, but who knows? Either way, I think it looks great, but it can be slightly disorienting, I guess, when it switches. And here's Radon playing Santa, lighting a cigar with his thumb. So again, this game and series is not something to be taken seriously. I don't think there's any deep message in this to be extracted. It's just super crazy, silly fun with a ton of style and one of the best fighting engines you'll ever play. And so here, continuing the fighting, and eventually I actually get my combo multiplier up to 9.9, which I think is the first time I've ever done that in this series. So again, I don't know if they've made that aspect of it easier, or if I'm getting better at the dodge offset system, but it's fun. And again, like I mentioned before, it's just because I'm getting those combos and getting those multipliers doesn't mean that I did well. After I got to the end of this section, I only got a silver, and so it's going to take some time to truly master this game, if I choose to do so, and get the pure platinum ratings. But yeah, the game just looks good. I mean, as you can see, there are performance hits that happen quite a bit. I mean, that was very noticeable in the first Bayonetta, and it's noticeable here too. You know, the Wii U isn't known for, you know, being the most powerful hardware out there, but I think it looks great. I've seen some threads on gaming forums that's, you know, are arguing that the game just doesn't look good, and I'm, you know, not sure what they're smoking, but I think the game looks fantastic. It might not be the best looking game on a technical level. You know, there's no anti-aliasing as far as I can tell. But the game still runs smooth, the colors are nice, and the design is just out of this world. It's just great to look at. I mean, look at all this stuff happening. I mean, most games just don't have that. And this is all happening in the Prologue. Anyway, thanks for checking this out, and I will see you in the next video.